Hello, so in the last video I did about traitors, I was talking about information asymmetry, right? About how when some people know more than others or have more power than others, the most powerful move is not manipulation, it's silence. And thinking about that has made me realize something else, something related. Something about why we get power so wrong. And I want to make a video about that. Because the moment that you stop seeing traitors as geniuses and start seeing them as efficient users of structure, the whole story changes. Because there's something very comforting about the way we talk about the traitors, I realized. Like, we love the idea, right, that the traitors are masterminds, that they're playing four-dimensional chess, that every pause, every look, every sentence is part of some intricate plan. Because that story makes the game feel fair, right? If the traitors win because they're brilliant, then the faithful lose because they weren't good enough. Everyone gets what they deserve. But if you actually watch the game closely, that's not what's happening. Most traitors don't win through genius. They win through inertia. They win by not intervening, as I've said, by not overplaying, by letting the structure of the game do the work for them. And to be clear, this isn't just my observation. Traitors win more than the faithful, despite being hugely outnumbered in the game. And that's not because they're brilliant, but it's because the structure works for them. And then, at the end, we reverse engineer brilliance onto them. We make them brilliant in retrospect. We say, that was the plan all along. Chef's kiss. And here's why we do that. Because the alternative explanation is much less comfortable. The alternative is that outcomes aren't mainly driven by intelligence or effort or moral worth. They're driven by position, by who starts with an advantage. And that's a harder story to sit with, right? So instead we tell ourselves a better one. And once you see that, the economic parallel becomes obvious as well. Like, we do exactly the same thing with wealth. We turn billionaires into geniuses. We turn CEOs into visionaries. Elon Musk, genius. Jeff Bezos, visionary.
Like, one of the most difficult choices I've ever faced in life was in 2008. I think I had maybe $30 million left, or $30 or $40 million left in 2008. And I had two choices. I could put it all into one company, and then the other company would definitely die, or split it between the two companies.
There's some nights I probably won't eat. I have done that a lot, especially at the beginning of the year. My concern is more my son. I'm a mum who has to support him, and I can go without, that's absolutely fine, but he can't.
That's because for Tara, it's a choice between feeding herself or her son.
I think I had maybe $30 million left, or $30 or $40 million left in 2008. I had two.
Not lucky, not well positioned, not born into advantage, genius. We tell stories about insight, courage, hustle.
So I always tell people who are, who think they want to be entrepreneurs, you need a combination of stubborn relentlessness and flexibility. And you have to know when to be which. And basically, you need to be stubborn on your vision, because otherwise it'll be too easy to give up. But you need to be very flexible on the details, because as you go along pursuing your vision, you'll find that some of your preconceptions were wrong.
I'm 35 years old, financially fairly stable. My question is how to balance the side jobs, the side gigs, the extracurricular work, if you will, and family. I've got two kids. I've got a little boy that will be 4 in July and one that will be 1 in a month.
The belief that the system is meritocratic, that rewards reflect value, that success is earned. But just like in the traitors, the most extreme outcomes don't come from spectacular moves. They come from existing advantage and favourable rules. But here's the key thing. Believing in masterminds, it's not neutral. It changes how we respond to inequality. Because if wealth is a result of brilliance, then redistribution feels like punishment, right? Like robbing someone of something they earned. Like envy dressed up as policy. So the mastermind myth, it doesn't just explain the game, it explains why so many people end up defending outcomes that actually harm them, right? Which is why all of this matters. Because the moment that you stop seeing traitors as geniuses and start seeing them as efficient users of structure, the whole story changes. The game doesn't look fair anymore. It looks rigged, which it is. And once you see that, both in the Scottish castle and in the real economy, you stop asking, who's the mastermind? You start asking, who wrote those rules? Actually, and can we rewrite them? That'd be good.
I got the power.